Is Sagittarius/Archer the smartest sign in the zodiac? It is not that I am bragging, but I must say that my horoscope sign is Sagittarius, or the archer or the shooter, call him what you will, whose motto is I see or I understand. It doesn't mean I understand, like in I understand that you are always right, boss, but as in I strive to understand underlying nature of reality. I am philosopher in my heart. I want to get to the bottom of things. You also know that Sagittarius is not obedient character just by reading a little bit about him. Because it is clearly stated that he doesn't have brain to mouth filter and he always says what he means, and, that way, ends up inadvertently hurting other people's feelings and for that reason may not be the most popular character in a cacophony society. Someone who says what he means obviously can't be authority's best friend. It might seem at first counterintuitive to consider honesty as a sign of intelligence, cause it obviously gets people into trouble. But when you realize how many bad things are going on in today's society as a result of covetousness and keeping secrets in order to protect your family members or your friends, you realize how good it would be for the society if it were to appreciate transparency a little bit more, as well as open and candid characters. Some might argue that Ram/Aries and Leo are also honest and candid, but Aries is always on the move, restless, always doing something. He is impatient and doesn't have the time to carefully think things through and therefore his actions often end up as flaunts. He has to start the things over and over again until he gets them right. Leo, on the other hand, is the slowest of the three, reflects the most on his actions, but he is slow to take initiative, the most inert, and that way rarely changes things in his and other people's lives for the better. Sagittarius is flexible or mutable or mental sign, which can switch his cardinality as he sees fit. He can become like Cardinal Aries when needed, and be the man of action, or become like fixed Leo, when needed, and become man of deliberation. So, yes, he can be passive-aggressive to a certain extent, but it is not as nearly as passive-aggressive as female signs. Some call him weak, compare him to Cancer, among female signs, and estimate his chances of being the social success as very slim, as if the social success is all there is to life. But let me tell you this, we are under occupation from some extraterrestrial intelligence, and even if that wasn't the case, we would be under occupation of some breakaway group of human individuals, which has far more advanced technology than us, that looks upon us as insects, for which there is plenty of evidence. Well, what is the first thing the occupying forces do? They kill or restrain in some way the smartest members of the society, but their numbers recuperate after some time, obviously, in a way that new smart individual get born. Sometimes, there is lot of free time in between two wars, that are carefully contrived, and not at all spontaneous, that allows for that and that allows people to think more and then they come up with ideas of sovereignty. Just for that purpose astrologers are hired to bash on Sagittarius and speak of him in the worst light. They never forget to mention how the most famous and popular people are born in midsummer or in spring and are Leos or Aries or Bulls or Cancers, although they also admit that Cancer is very shy, and they give very bad prediction for the signs that are born in late fall or in winter. But, funny enough, They even like more Capricorn and Scorpio than Sagittarius. And how are Sagittarians supposed to feel when they read bad stuff about them? It's some severe brainwashing from the very beginning. Only sign they hate more is the Virgo or the Maiden, and that's just because it's the second smartest sign in the zodiac, and her motto is I analyze. They don't like mental signs in general, which are Pisces' motto is I believe, Gemini or the Twins' motto is I speculate or I think, Virgo and Sagittarius. But according to some, Pisces shouldn't be called mental sing, although they are mutable, since they believe, but instead Libra motto. I balance, and Aquarius motto is I acquiesce or I elevate or I transcend should be considered additional mental signs. Sagittarians should be 12% of the population, but they are not. They are least populous sign of the zodiac. And then, newborns were sacrificed to Baal on the 25th of December. Who do you think they were? Who are the newborns in December? Initially it was generally considered that 25th of December was even more important pagan holiday than Halloween, before Halloween was commercialized, and that the most infant blood was spilled on that day in our pagan religious cults. So yes, they like to kill Sagittarians even more than Libras. Sagittarius rules universities and higher education, and who goes first when the paradigm shifts, when they go after the ones that don't follow the party line, intellectuals or the people of mediocre intelligence? Now, don't get me wrong, I know there are lots of intelligent people out there that haven't finished colleges or universities, especially in the West, where education was out of the reach for the most people for a long time. In the past they used to think that being born in Sagittarius is even less auspicious than they say it is today. They thought that most auspicious are fixed things, and now they think it's the cardinal signs. And if one was born in mutable sign, they would predict short sickly life, unfavorable chance to get somewhere in life, whether in career, or regarding the wealth, short span of attention, instable nature, inability to focus, weak memory retention, being frequently victimized by the others, and frequent changing of partner. You can imagine that would make female of mutable signs very popular among the men of that time. But it's funny how in Far East, in the Chinese zodiac, Sagittarius is actually rat or the mouse, and it's also considered to be extremely clever, according to some even the most clever sign. And there it is more auspicious to be born as a rat. In Chinese horoscope, rat is water male sign, unlike in the Western, where it is one of the fire trinity, and they have a saying, the water will always find a way, meaning, of course, on the element of water in their horoscope, and rat, the animal, indeed always finds the way, be it off the sinking ship, through the sewers, or somewhere else. There is also the fact that when Buddha, or the awakened one, was preaching to the animals of the wild, first animal to awaken from its trance state, or to achieve nirvana, was rat, and that's why Buddha made her the first animal of the zodiac, and then followed Scorpio pig, Libra dog, Virgo rooster, Leo monkey, Cancer sheep, Gemini horse, Bull snake, Aries dragon, Pisces cat/rabbit, Aquarius tiger, and finally Capricorn bull, cause they had awoken in that order. Notice how in the awakening process things are happening counterclockwise, that is, in opposition to the flow of time. Does it mean that ultimate purpose of nirvana is to stop time, or stop the aging process? Probably it is. It's interesting how the Capricorn is being ruled by Saturn, who was also called Kronos in Greek mythology, and his name means time, and the myth says that the time started flowing for the Earthlings once he became chief deity. Does it mean that up until that point they haven't died? It is also noteworthy that the 13th sign of the zodiac, Ophiuchus or serpent holder or serpent charmer, is not on the galactic equator, but is above the sign of Sagittarius, as he has straddled him. So sometimes people born at the last days of Scorpio and first day of Sagittarius, and the ones born on the last days of Sagittarius and first days of Capricorn, are considered to be born in the sign of Ophiuchus, who is considered to be a very special sign. Some consider, given the way things are, that Sagittarius has many Ophiuchus qualities, and that they should be considered one and the same sign. That sign is considered to be neither of earth, nor of water, nor of air, nor of fire element, but of the fifth element, called the spirit, and it's considered to be very spiritually endowed person. I will go even as far as to claim that the elites actually worship Sagittarius, sometimes in the form of Ophiuchus, and Virgo, and sometimes even Gemini, because of their mental qualities, of course, but that they want to represent it to the masses as if they are worshipping either Capricorn motto as I achieve, or Bull motto is I acquire, or Aries motto is I am, or Leo motto is I will, or I can, or I know, because the latter ones are the ones they desire for the masses to worship, because of the materialistic goals they set for themselves in life, and because of lack of their discernment. Someone would argue that their goals in life are not materialistic, but I mean materialistic in the sense of not striving for the truth. For example, I think Virgin Mary is actually supposed to represent Virgo, but because of her name people falsely speculate that she is meant to represent Aries. Mary seems to be female variant of Mars. I think that God and Jesus together are meant to represent Ophiuchus holding a serpent on a cross, which is the most common depiction of him, Jesus being, of course, the serpent. Many statues of Lucifer, holding the flame of knowledge, could be easily interpreted as representing Sagittarius, not only because Sagittarius is on eternal quest for truth, but also because he is the only sign holding a weapon in his hands, and the weapons are in these days quite frequently fire weapons, and as we know Sagittarius is a fire sign. And, besides that, on some pictures he is holding it pointed towards the star. Some say it's Venus, meaning he is striving towards higher or spiritual nature of man. But it could be argued that the flame holder is also a Virgo, given that he or she is pointing with his torch toward heavens, but with his other hand towards the ground, similar to the thing the Virgo sign does. And furthermore, according to some Buddhist legends, all animals were participating in a contest, where the animal that would swim across the lake the fastest towards the Buddha, which was on another shore, would be the first to awaken. Bull was the first animal to get into the water, since he likes it, but the cunning rat jumped on his back and that way got halfway, but then the other animals, who were at first hesitant to get into water, since they hate her, but are faster swimmers than the bull, starting catching up on him, and, seeing that rat, that was saving his energy up until that point, jumped of the bull's back and got to the Buddha first. So when we are seeing bull often depicted in music videos or in movies, what one doesn't straight away notice is that we are usually watching at people somehow superimposed over the bull, implying that they are riding on his back, or on rare occasions, standing underneath him. But as we already know, Sagittarian motto is I understand. Worship of the eye could be easily be interpreted as the worship of someone who sees like the Sagittarius does. And do you remember that the eye of the Horus was actually stolen by his cunning brother Seth, who is a god with the head of the rat, and that he is now in the possession of it? We see Saturn depicted often enough everywhere, but on second inspection, one can clearly notice that Saturn with his ring kind of resembles an eye. Is Europe riding the bull, which was actually Zeus in disguise, which is to be found on euro coins, also meant to represent the sign of Sagittarius? Then, as for the hermaphrodites, do you know that mutable signs are often considered to be hermaphrodites of their respective elements? For example, Aries is considered to be female part of the fire trinity, Leo male sometimes its opposite, and Sagittarius hermaphrodite. It's the same with other mutable signs. Then we know that the numbers 3, 6, 9 and 12 are very important in occult circles. Nikola Tesla also admitted to that. Well, Gemini is the third sign, Virgo is the sixth sign, Sagittarius is the ninth sign, and Pisces are the 12th sign. Well, I am proud to say that I am, according to the Vedic astrology, which is more precise than the Western one, Sun sign Sagittarius, with Neptune and Mars in Sagittarius, as well Sun and Neptune being in Ophiuchus, 2, Ascendant Gemini, Moon in Pisces, and in 9th house, Jupiter and Saturn in Virgo, and in 3rd house, and with 3 planets Mercury, which is in Ophiuchus, 2, Neptune and Sun being in the 6th house, which behaves very similar to the sign of Virgo. And there I have 3/6 seconds as well. I hope I am not the Antichrist. And then there is this all disarmament movement going on in America and world, or they are trying to erase Sagittarius consciousness among common people? And just little more something for the end. Do you remember how the gods were dumb while Saturn, aka Kronos, reigned over them, who openly asked people to offer him human sacrifices, which led to the couple of human rebellions, and how sly have they become now that Jupiter, aka Zeus, is reigning over them? Now they are hiding and no one knows they are even there, and one can't fight what doesn't exist. That's all for now, folks.